Today is my anniversary. I started my company, Bryant Consulting Group, 24 years ago today. And Bryant Consulting Group was a change management company. I had gotten my master's in what we used to call multiculturalism because, again, I have always had an interest in how you make different people get along and work together. But I got my master's degree in multiculturalism. Worked at a tech company though for a while, quite a while, and when I decided I wanted to become a mother and have kids and wanted to work from home somewhat, I started a company, and it immediately was successful. And I focused on change management. Change management, in my mind, what my desire was to create change in people's environments. So environments would not at all be hostile and would be welcoming to people. We didn't use the term DEI back then, but of course there were no DEI contracts. So most of the work I did was actually when people, like systems integration, when people were moving from one system to another system. And that was fine, but I did get some contracts in what we would call DEI now. And I was thinking recently about what was it called then? And it was really some form or fashion of team building. How do we ensure that our teams are cohesive was the question that people wanted solved and had me come in. So, we taught a lot of communication classes. How do you communicate when you're managing someone who's older than you? How do you deliver bad news? How do you deal with difficult customers? But really, it's what a lot of people would see as DEI today. But it's just been politicized. The interesting thing about it is that as I, got more and more to DEI, as the world became more accepting of it, particularly as we became a global economy and people needed it. And one of my big contracts actually was with I had government agencies like DARPA, which is under the Department of Defense, TSA, transportation, because people, this was not something that you just did in your, locally. It was the world became bigger and more diverse, and we became like a smaller world because people were working across the world, and that's when it got really fun for me. But as I did the work for years, I became really disillusioned with what DEI was looking like. The crazy part about all of this and about how conservatives have done a brilliant marketing job of connecting DEI to Black people, I kind of left my own company because I was so dissatisfied about how DEI was serving Black people. I felt that we were greatly ignored. I felt like DEI became more of a marketing PR piece. I saw where really just women were, and not Black women, were getting the most benefits, and my goal was to make a change. I knew that I could not make that change unless I spoke directly and honestly and candidly about subjects. So I retagged myself Randy B. I knew I could not get the contracts I needed that made me money and say the things I wanted to say. I knew I wouldn't get hired. So I kind of had this undercover piece of my company called Randy B, which is who you know today. As a matter of fact, I started out being called Beatnik 24, and then eventually I used my name. And so that's what's so interesting now when you hear this blowback of people saying DEI is about Black people. I literally left my own company essentially because it was the opposite. It wasn't serving Black people. It was serving, again, the marketing PR efforts of companies. Really was focused on women, and Black people. I felt were the ones who were greatly ignored, and that's proven by what you see in stats of who DEI has served. But anyway, it is my anniversary. I am doing DEI the way that I always wanted to do it. I'm speaking candidly about issues because I don't believe that you can solve something that you are not being real about. How can you fix a problem that you want to continue to deny? So happy anniversary to me.